Welcome to No Romance Without Finance. Today's guest is Paula L. She is a multi-Emmy winning and multi-Emmy nominated broadcast journalist. In 2018, she launched a 100% women-owned and women-run company, Braless Bra Instant Cleavage Sculpting Solutions. She's an entrepreneur, an author, and so much more. And we're very excited to have her on the show to talk about how she went from broadcaster to a badass entrepreneur. So today we are with Paula L. Thank you for joining us, Paula. So happy you're here.
Hattie, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to be here.
We're so excited to get into it. So, Paula, tell us a little bit about yourself and, your first career and what that consists of.
Well, I am a working multi-Emmy winning, and you got to say multi, because if you just
Right,
say Emmy, it just
absolutely.
means you won one, right?
Right, let's hear it,
Um,
girl.
I'm telling you, I'm not hiding from any of it.
Good,
But
good.
multi-Emmy winning broadcast journalist. I work in Detroit, Michigan, which is my soul's home. I absolutely love it here. It's just the right longitude and latitude for my life. I am married for the second and last time. I became a first-time mom, a stepmother at 49. Who does that?
Wow,
Who does
right.
that? Crazy woman.
Exactly.
Crazy woman. But you know what? I
Yes,
loved what you said in your open because women can do a lot. We're multitaskers. And
yes.
I had this idea. I was trying to really settle my own pain points and assist myself in some issues I was having with self-image, which is, when you have self-image issues and you're on television every day, that's probably
Mm-hmm.
not a good thing.
Oh,
But I still
I
love
know.
my work. And, a lot of people have said, oh, wow, is this your pivot? No, it's not. Just because
Mm-hmm.
I'm still a working broadcast journalist, I love what I do. I love this too. I wanted to do this as well because I wanted to, well, first of all, help myself and then help other women. So I call myself a
Great.
creatorpreneur because I
I love
create
that.
things. I create things that have value. And so I developed this breast lifting tape. So try being a broadcast journalist. How about this?
Mm-hmm.
And creating a breast lifting tape when the world is still very taboo about boobs. So it's been a really
Right.
delicate balancing act.
Right. And so what's interesting to me is that so you're a public figure, right? Because you're a broadcaster, people see you.
Yeah.
And now you've developed this breast lifting tape called Braless, which I've tried and we can get into it because I really, really love the product.
Thank you.
But how did you make that transition? And how did you tell your boss, hey, guess what? I'm going to be making breast lifting tape now? Because a lot of us would be intimidated, right? I'd be afraid to lose my job.
That is so funny. So when I did tell my boss, I think she did think that I was actually transitioning as opposed to just multitasking or multi-careering. I don't know if
Okay.
that's a word, I just made it a word. But anyway, and I remember her saying, "Well, what are you going to do when you make your first million?" And I said, I'm going to buy better shoes and drive a better car." And that's basically it.
Right.
And that's really how I see this. Again, here's the thing. I feel like if you're penned in, if you pen yourself in, I am this, therefore I'm not that, then I don't know that you really have an opportunity to become the sum total of everything you can possibly be in this very,
Hmm.
very short thing we call life. It's
Right.
going so fast, and when you get older, it goes faster. I was just talking to my producer today, who was on his way to play tennis, and I said, I just really admire you that you're playing tennis so close to when you had your open heart surgery. And he said, "Girl, that was 2 years ago." And I said, "No, it wasn't." And he said,
Wow.
"Yes, it was. But it felt like 2 years ago. I mean, but it felt like, only a couple of months ago because that's how fast time is going." And so if you
Right.
limit yourself, Patty, I really do think you limit the possibilities of what you could do. Like, I just want to do absolutely everything I can possibly do just to see what I can get done. I'm a published novelist and I write screenplays and I've danced in the circus as a clown and I've flown an
Wow.
F-16 fighter jet. I've been collecting these adventure points just because I can.
Right.
And I'm not willing to listen to somebody who says, well, you really can't do that because you're a 50-year-old woman. Or, you know what? It's
Right.
really time to stop doing that because you're a 60-year-old woman. I just don't buy into all of that.
Yes. And one of the really important reasons, like I said in the intro, that I wanted to have you on is because there are a lot of women that have a job. It's not a career for them, and yours is a career, right? But it's a job. They're not really that fulfilled, right? It's just a 9 to 5. It's something that's giving them a paycheck, right?
Sure, of course.
And they want something that makes them feel fulfilled, and they're afraid to take that leap. So, what do you say to women out there that are afraid to do that? How were you not afraid to take that leap?
Oh my gosh, I am so glad you asked that question because I was afraid and I'm still
Ah,
afraid.
you have to do it regardless, right?
Gotta
You
do
have
it.
to do it even if you're afraid.
Gotta do it. So I do believe there's this thing that I always say, and I tell everybody this, anybody who will listen, and I say that I believe that fear is like a grizzly bear. You absolutely, positively cannot outrun it. Your only chance, and it's not even a big chance, but your only chance is to stand and fight. That's your only shot. And
Right,
fear is that to me. You can't outrun it. You have to stand and you have to turn around and you have to fight. And honestly, Patty, it might take you down. Really, it might take you
right,
down. Whatever's in
right,
front of you might take you down.
right,
But your only shot, honestly, is to just stand and fight because you can't outrun it.
right. I love that. And I think a lot of us feel uncomfortable because we're like, oh my gosh, I am so scared to do it.
Yeah.
But the key is to do it anyway.
Listen, I do want to say this. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurship is no joke. The
Right.
product that I make, that I innovated, is manufactured in the US. Also, no joke, the infrastructure. People love to say, buy in the USA, make it in the USA. The
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure, honestly, is not there at a certain level when you're this small to really survive that well without a really hard fight. So I do think you should be afraid, but I don't think that fear should stop you. I think when you build a team, so I actually had this idea 10 years ago before there was anything on the market. Anything,
Wow.
anything
Really?
at all. But I didn't know how to get it done. And then 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, I was talking about it to a friend who happens to be a really big time businesswoman. And you know what? I don't mind saying her name. I don't think she would mind if I said her name. But Florine Mark, who was the CEO of Weight Watchers, and she and I were
Oh.
having lunch, and we were talking, and I was actually talking to her because she knows Jane Fonda, and I was trying to get a screenplay that I had written to Jane Fonda. Um, but I didn't want her to think, oh, I'm trying to pivot from Channel 4. And so I was just kind of explaining everything that I do. Oh yeah, so I wrote a book, and I've got this screenplay, and I have this invention, this innovation that I did, a breast lifting tape, and so I was just talking about all the things I was doing, and she went, "Vroom, talk about that breast lifting tape." And
Really?
so
Out of
I
everything
told,
that you talked about, she was interested
that's
in the
what she
breast
zeroed in
lifting
on.
tape. Why?
So well, I'll tell you why. So she says, do you have a prototype? And I said, oh, yeah, by the way, I do carry a prototype in my car. And she says, I have a black suit that is completely backless that I've never been able to wear because I can't wear it without a bra. Do you mind if I try the prototype? And I carry the
Mm.
prototype with me because even though it wasn't a fully realized product at that point, I used it because I'm a double G. And
Wow.
so I'm on the speaker circuit. I had to stay 5 gallons ahead of events. And so I had
Mm-hmm.
something always with me to lift my boobs. So I run
Right.
out to my car, and I'm still hoping she's going to talk to me about this screenplay. I really want to talk to her about this screenplay. I really
Yeah,
do.
forget this bra tape thing,
Right? This
right?
is something that's not even fully realized. I've got 3 screenplays out here. But anyway, the next thing I know, we're in her guest bathroom, and we are topless from the
Oh my
waist up.
gosh.
She with her lemons, and me with my melons.
Watermelons?
Lemons and melons. And we're standing there, and I tape her with the prototype, and she was amazed. So the thing
Wow.
about Florine is she was famous for not liking email. Like she wouldn't
Mm.
send emails, she wouldn't really return emails. But within the space of about 2 weeks, I gotten 3 emails saying, Paula, what are we going to do about this tape? What are we going to do about this tape? What, not me, what are you? What are we going to do about this tape? And
Hmm.
I was just like, okay, she's not going to introduce me to Jane Fonda. She's not going to talk about the screenplay. And I said, Florine, what do you want to do? And she said, I want to help you get it to market.
Wow.
And so she helped me build my team. And I have a great team, all female team. Um, 2 women I already knew previously in my, doing other things, but she really helped me see that they would be great in helping me get this to market. And then we brought someone else on board. And that's the other thing that I want women to know. Build a team and make sure those people or women or whomever know
Hmm.
everything you don't know. And you don't
Right.
have to be friends. They don't have to be your friends. You will
Sure.
probably become friends. Like these
Hmm.
women are like my sisters. We fight, we cry, we yell, we scream, we get it done.
Right.
But build a team who knows everything you don't know. So you might say, oh,
Yes.
I've got this great idea, but I don't know what to do. Find the people who do know. This person knows how to do marketing. This person knows manufacturing. I couldn't have done it without these women because I couldn't do it 10 years ago. I had no
Right.
idea. I
Right.
thought you had to do it all yourself. I didn't
Right.
realize you build a team.
So can we go back? There's a lot to unpack there,
Yeah,
and I
there
want to
is.
go back. I want to go back to this braless tape that you had, or the
Braless
idea that
bra.
you braless bra, and the
Hmm.
idea that you had for it, and obviously there was a need. And I always say, you when you're an entrepreneur, you need to come up with something that people have a need for, right?
Yeah.
You need to solve a problem,
Oh, yeah.
solve somebody's problem, correct? And
Yeah.
you were solving the problem of women that are wearing backless or strapless, shirts or gowns or whatever it is, and you don't want your bra strap to show. And there were other products similar to this out in the market. So, how were you competing with them? Like, what was making yours different? What made you confident
Oh,
about what you had? Because even 3 years ago, when you launched this, there were products out there, right?
yeah. Yeah. So, and that's the thing was by then there were other products. So it might help first if I explain, if it's okay,
Sure.
what drives me, what drove me. And
Absolutely. It's very important.
it wasn't just about being strapless, backless, blah, blah, blah. So I've had boobs since I was 12 years old.
Hmm.
12! Can you imagine? 12 years old
No,
and you've got boobs, big floppy
I
boobs.
know.
And I have a twin sister who
Oh,
did not
nice.
have boobs at 12 years
Huh.
old. And
Okay.
so when you have boobs at 12 years old and your twin sister doesn't have boobs, I was self conscious. And I have this very distinct memory of swinging on the monkey bars. I was wearing this kind of orangey yellowish sweatshirt, floppy sweatshirt, because I was covering up. I'm
Hmm.
swinging on the monkey bars. And this little boy ran up and he poked me in the chest and he said, what are those? I started laughing. And all the kids in the playground started laughing at me. And I just wanted to die.
Hmm.
I was so horrified. And it really did start my roller coastering issues with body image and
Hmm.
self esteem. And as I got older, my boobs got bigger. And so I remember in college, we were getting ready for this big sorority dance, and all the girls were wearing the same thing. And there were these spaghetti strap, cream colored dresses that plunged down below the boob line, and they were backless. And when I was in college, they didn't have cute, pretty little lacy bras. They had, the white bra, thick
Right.
bra strap.
Hmm.
Hello, I'm wearing a bra. And I just knew, oh my gosh, I'm going to be flopping around dancing on that gym floor. And I don't know what made me do it, but I grabbed scotch tape and I taped up my boobs and they looked amazing. And then one of my sorority sisters, her boobs were bigger than mine,
Scotch tape.
scotch tape. And I taped her up and she looked great. So I started scotch taping myself. And then as I got older and my boobs got bigger, and I went to masking tape. And then I went to postage tape. Not kidding, Patty. Postage tape.
I've
And
used duct tape before.
I use duct tape too. It rips up
Yeah.
your skin.
Yeah,
But
it
then
does.
I found surgical tape. And that was
Mm,
the magic bullet.
right.
I loved it. And I don't know if you know anything about surgical tape, but it adheres to your skin and the warmth of your skin. And it basically
Right.
adheres to your skin. Okay.
Sure.
So I wear this. this surgical tape, and it looked amazing, and I looked amazing. And when I took it off, it would tear my skin or bruise my breasts. But I
Mm-hmm.
didn't care because I was on the speaker circuit, and I'm
Right.
wearing these gowns, and I needed to look great in these gowns. And during a physician's visit, my physician walked in the room. She had her nurse with her, and her face was just ashen. And honestly, I thought she was going to tell me I had cancer.
Mm.
And I was just bracing myself. And she said, Paula, I need to know if you have a safe place to go. Like, yeah, I just built a
Oh, she
house
thought you were
and blah,
being
blah, 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 blah.
abused.
She said, no, I'm not talking about that. During your examination, we saw so many cuts and bruises, and some
Oh
of them
my
are old and
goodness.
some of them are new, and I need to know if you're being abused. And that's when I realized, oh my God, I'm abusing myself to look good in clothing. And
Wow.
so I developed this with such passion because I knew other women out there had the same problem. I knew I wasn't the only one.
Sure.
And so I sat down and I drew out this elegant solution. So fast forward to, 7 years later, when I finally have a team and there are other products on the market, to your point.
Mm-hmm.
But at this juncture, we are the absolute only product on the face of the planet that
Mm-hmm.
is self-winding. It doesn't have a liner. And so if you've
Mm.
tried other breast lifting tapes and you've got to
Right.
undo that liner and then
Right.
figure out how to get the tape on, and then you have to use scissors to kind of cut around it, and
Right.
you don't have to do that with ours. First
Yes,
of all,
you're
it's
right.
translucent, so you don't have to color
Yep.
match the skin.
Yep.
It is perforated, so you don't need scissors. So you
Right.
have
Yeah. You can
longitudinal,
cut. I mean, you
you,
could
you
like
shape it.
rip
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
You just rip off. So as soon as you put it on and you put your garment on, and if you've got tape showing, you just move the
Yeah.
perforations, that way, or you
Yes.
pull it up that
Yes.
way.
Yes.
It has comfort vents, so it's actually design engineered. It's not repurposing something else. And
Mm-hmm.
so it is very, very different than anything else on the market. But here's the other thing. It has super strong medical grade substrate, which is the top,
Mm-hmm.
and adhesive, which is the bottom, made for human skin contact. And it is so strong, the way it grips your skin, that we can hold breasts as large as an N cup.
Oh my
And
goodness.
nobody else can say that.
That's amazing. Yeah, see, and that's
Nobody.
important because that's how you're distinguishing yourself from all
Absolutely.
other products, right? So you're
Absolutely.
actually, there are solutions similar, but you're distinguishing yourself by putting out a better product out there.
We
And
have built a better mousetrap.
exactly, exactly. And I think what's really important here to note is that you had this product, you didn't really know what to do with it. You were concerned about other things, about other business ventures, but it wasn't until you got together with another woman, right, who
Right.
decided that she was going to help you, right? She was.
Yeah.
Would it be right to say that she was mentoring you, or was happy to be your mentor, or your partner, I guess,
No,
or to be
she was more of a friend who, booted my butt out the door to get
okay,
it
yeah.
done. Say that again?
No, I said yes, exactly. So she was,
Yeah.
so she was someone that was helping you and telling you do something with this. And a
Yes.
lot of times we need that. We need the support
Absolutely.
from our friends, from other women around us to tell us, hey, get it together because we don't see it ourselves.
And don't write and not trip other women. Well, the other thing that one, because Florine did a lot. The other thing Florine did was she invited me back for lunch, and she invited a woman who was the founder and CEO of Michigan Women Forward,
Mm,
which is a
right.
nonprofit that helps women. And Carolyn
Wonderful.
Casson became my business mentor. And that's,
Mm,
Patty, you know what? You're making me think of things, because that's the other thing. Even if you have a great team, you got to have a
mm-hmm.
mentor. You got
Yes,
to
you
have
do.
somebody who knows the ropes and
Yep.
sees things you don't see and can tell you things that you don't know and can introduce you to people. But here's the other thing. You need somebody who can talk you in off the ledge.
Absolutely. Because you're going to
And
be
that's
on that ledge.
absolutely. Sorry, my hair is all over the place.
No, it's okay. As an
Um,
entrepreneur, you're going to be on that ledge like every other
oh my
hour.
gosh. Do you
Yep.
know what? I want to quit at least 16 times a day before
Yes.
5:30 in the morning. It's that
Yes.
hard.
Yes.
Usually by
Yes.
5:30 I'm okay. But by
Yep.
5:30 and I'm looking at
Yes.
all those emails and there are these,
Mm-hmm.
these problems and these bills and this and
Yeah.
we just participated in our first Amazon Prime Day. And
Congratulations.
thank you. And it wasn't we sold out. We sold out. So Prime Day is 2 days. And
Right.
we sold out in a day and a quarter.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
I didn't see it coming. So and that was a crisis of confidence on my part. I should have gone,
Mm-hmm.
of course we're gonna sell out. Let me bring some more product in. We had plenty. There was plenty there. But I was like, I just hope we sell 80%. That would be grand.
Right. Right.
We sold out. And
Good for you.
so I had to, you know, I wake up one morning and I see, oh my gosh, we've sold out. And so we had, call an emergency team huddle. And we met virtually to talk about, well, what do we do? Because we know that it's going to take at least 12 days to get restocked with Amazon. Now that
Mm-hmm.
is the great thing about being made in the USA. My stuff's not out there floating in the Pacific on a barge
Correct.
or somewhere
Correct.
on some far off distant shore waiting for a broker. So that's
Yes.
the good news. But the other thing was I'd gotten a notice from our fulfillment center that we were out of stickers. And so my product has a sticker on it
Mm-hmm.
because the tape holds really voluminous flesh. And so
Right.
it's very, very aggressive. And so we want women to understand you can't just rip it off. You
Right.
gotta you gotta go to the website and you gotta take a look at other takeoff options. And we prefer you to
Mm-hmm.
use oil. But we were also getting some complaints from women who they didn't see the sticker or they didn't pay attention to the instructions or
Sure.
whatever. It doesn't really matter. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was almost out of stickers, but I knew that I had to redesign the stickers to say take off with oil.
Right.
And I knew and even so my stickers are made in the US. Okay, that's great. But I knew it was going to take 5 days to rush the stickers. And I needed thousands of stickers. And so I
Mm-hmm.
had to rush the printing and rush the delivery of the stickers to go straight to fulfillment. I actually paid more for delivery than for the stickers
Oh my
to get them to
gosh.
the fulfillment center, but I didn't want that product. And my team was saying, Paula, you should just send the product out and just get Amazon restocked. And I said, no, we've got to warn women. We've got to make
Right.
sure that we put that everywhere we can so they have a good experience. So I knew it
Sure.
was going to add 5 days to the process. Lo and behold, today, so Amazon Prime was, I think it ended on the 12th. We sold out that morning. I just got a notice that we restocked at Amazon, but it took that much time. So to go back to your original question, I give long answers. Sorry.
It's okay.
Honestly, when I want to quit before 5:30, it's looking at emails that say things like, "You're out of stickers."
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay,
Right.
so that's going to add 5 days. It's going to take this. It's going to take this. I'm going to have to pay more money to deliver it. Da 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 da. And then you wake up and you get an email that says the shipment left the fulfillment center, but it went to Texas instead of Chicago. And
Right.
so that's going to add
Right.
3 days because now you're not going to be able to get it in 2 days on
Mm-hmm.
Amazon and da da da. But you can
Yeah.
get it from my website. But more people trust Amazon. They don't know who the heck I am. They're not going to go to brawlessbrawl.com. They're going to go to Amazon.com. Da 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 da. So those are the things that you wake up to,
Right.
or you look up and you go, your next loan payment is due, and you're going, okay, I got to pay this loan. By 5:30 in the morning,
Right.
I'm exhausted. I'm
Yes.
exhausted. But
Yes.
then I'll get an email or I'll see a review where a woman says, you changed my life.
Yeah.
Or I've never been able to even consider going braless before Braless Bra. And it's really Braless Bra Instant Cleavage Sculpting Solution. That's how you distinguish it. But anyway, but they say, I was never able to go braless before. Or I hated my body until I wore this with a piece of lingerie for my husband. Oh my God, that was my favorite. When you
That's
can
really
get
cool.
darn near naked and your
Yeah.
boobs look good for your man
Yes.
or your
Yeah.
woman or whoever, I don't care.
Right.
But when you
Yeah.
feel good about yourself,
Yes.
then by 5:35, I don't hate my life anymore.
Yes. And at the end of the day, you gotta have something that keeps you going
Oh
other
yeah.
than money. You know what
Oh
I
yeah.
mean? You
That I
gotta
didn't
have
do it for the
something that,
money.
right. Because, and I want everyone to understand this. If you're doing it for the money, you're doing it for the wrong
Yeah.
reasons. I promise you, money is not going to get you to the right place, because money is not going to give you that feeling inside you that makes you feel so good, like the review that you got, right?
Oh
About the
my goodness,
woman
yeah.
with the lingerie, or people saying that, you've changed their lives. No matter how much money you have, you're not going to get that feeling. And it's that feeling that's going to keep you going.
You know what? You're right. It's helping other women. Let me tell you
Yes.
one other quick story, because we were doing a shoot and I wanted a mix of real women and models, professional models. And I brought this woman in. She's one of my favorite models. And she's kind of a wallflower. And one of my leaders, one of my C-suite leaders said, why is she here? And I said, just wait. And so she was looking around and she was really intimidated and was very shy. And so my my C-suite leader came back and she said, Paula, I don't understand why she's here. And I said, just wait, be patient. So we were doing the before shots and we're doing the testimonials and blah, 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 blah. And then we taped her. And it was like Jessica Rabbit, baby. And all of a sudden, she just puffed up and she bloomed. And she was the best one. She looked at herself and she couldn't believe what she saw. And all of a sudden, she saw herself as a model. So I
Wow.
got a call several days later from her husband. And he said, what did you do to my wife? And I
Oh,
said,
that's
what?
great. Did you think it was
Nothing.
bad?
I did. I
Oh,
did. And
yeah.
I said, I don't know what you mean. And he said, she's a different woman. Thank you. And that was from a husband.
That's it. See? That is it.
When you look
That
at
is what keeps
yourself,
you going.
absolutely, when you look at
Yeah.
yourself and you like what you see, whether it's your clothes or your
Yeah.
hair or your nails or whatever, but
Right.
we like to say when you lift boobs, you lift self-esteem. But whatever it is that makes you feel good, oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh. And women have so much knocking us down. We really do. I mean, it's
Yes, we
coming from
do.
all angles. It really
Yes.
is. We got
Yep.
to you got to be quiet, and oh, you're aggressive, you're bossy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? If somebody wants to see the bitch in me come out, call me bossy, because you wouldn't say that to a man. You absolutely would not say that to a man. So there's so much coming at us that when we
Right.
can look at ourselves and go, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
man, that's it. That is
Yeah.
it.
And so you had an idea, right?
Hmm.
And I kind of want this to be a blueprint that we're giving women that are listening, or men even. So you have
Sure.
this great idea, you are fulfilling a need for, or fulfilling a solution, right, for a
Yeah.
problem. You had a mentor,
Hmm.
or and not Fiona, but you said that, I'm sorry, what was
Oh,
the person's
Florine.
name? Florine,
Florine, but my
right?
mentor is Carolyn.
Carolyn, that's right. So Carolyn mentored you. You got a team around you. How did you get the money? Because I think most women are like, okay, well, how am I going to get the money to do this? I have the idea. I can get the
Yeah.
mentor, but where am I going to get the money?
That's hard. That part is really hard. So we did crowdfunding and we raised quite a bit of money with crowdfunding.
And how did you do that?
So it's like
Did you do like a
Yeah,
GoFundMe?
No, 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 not GoFundMe, but it was Indiegogo.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, one of the crowdfunding platforms. So I don't.
Got it.
Can I
Okay.
say that? You know what? I'd rather. So when you edit, I'd rather not say which one because I don't know how they feel about that.
I see. Okay. So
Okay, so
we'll please take that out.
crowdfunding. Yeah, so we did. All right. So we did a crowdfunding campaign, and we raised quite a bit of money. This is the funny thing, though. When we met to try to get other funding, it was
Mm-hmm.
really, really difficult. And I can remember one breakfast in particular. Um, we were talking to, it was the whole team, and we were talking to a man over breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I was
Mm-hmm.
buying. And we started talking about the breast lifting tape, and his fork started to shake. And we're just talking and talk, and his fork is shaking. And finally, I just said to him, you know what? We're talking about boobs, breasts, boobs. It's not a bad word. This is business. Boobs. Boobs are business. It's okay. It's safe. And he just kind of
Right.
went, okay. He was so nervous talking to women about breasts. and breast
Wow.
lifting tape and boobs. But here's the thing, when he loved it. But then when he went back and talked to his cohorts, it was like no dice. So raising money for a variety of reasons. First of all, women get funded less than men.
Yes, they
Black
do.
women get funded less than any other woman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and even my mentor said that. She said, you know what, I'm going to tell you something, and I don't want you to be offended. And she said, it's going to be really hard for you to get funding because of your gender and your race. I was like, I'm a
Wow.
public figure. I'm fine. People are going to be
I have so
dying to
much
give me money.
credibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not true. Wasn't
Mm.
true. So I took out loans, and
Oh.
my husband helped me bankroll it, and we scraped and pulled it together, and then we go into
Hmm.
manufacturing, and I was under a lot of pressure not to manufacture in the USA. In fact, I had a state representative, and I was talking to him about getting some state funding, and he said, "Wow, you're really." I don't want to say exactly what he said because he was a personal friend, was.
Hmm.
But he said, "You're really blah 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 to make this in the USA." And I said, "Wow, you're a state rep for a manufacturing state. May I quote you on that?" And then he kind of backed off. But I mean, I couldn't even get state funding.
Wow.
Getting the funding is really, really hard, and you do need a plan. You need a lot of help, and you need a lot of luck. And again, because I'm Paula L. Tutman, I'm a broadcast journalist. I've been in the business
Hmm.
forever. Everybody knows me. I have credit in the 800s. I'm thinking it's going to be, oh, this is going to be a breeze. People are going to be dying to give me money. And I'm
Right.
manufacturing in the USA because everybody wants us manufacturing in the You really do need a plan, and then a
Hmm.
backup plan, and then perhaps another backup plan, and then you need friends and family members, and you need people who can write you some checks to help you get going, and then get it out there, and hopefully you can gobble up all of the real estate. But
And
that
when you
part
say
was really hard.
and when you say plan, did you have a professional business plan? Is that what you mean by that?
Oh my gosh, you're asking great questions. You absolutely have to have a real business plan, and
Yes.
that first business plan will not be the same a year later. It has to
Yes.
be a living, breathing organism. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to put the work in and do the research. Now, here's the thing, I'm a writer and I write for a living. And so I actually loved writing the business plan. It took me,
Hmm.
it took me quite a few days, but I loved editing
Right.
and I loved writing it because I love to write.
Hmm.
If you don't like to write, get over it. But you
Right.
need to make sure everything's spelled correctly and everything is justified and everything is squared off and your business plan makes sense. And they have templates online. So if you don't know how to do a
Yes.
business plan, just go online and just say business plan template for free. Don't pay for one.
Right.
Even the SBA has one. Small Business Association has one. In fact, I think I used their template. And then you just fill in the blanks. And then you
Yep.
keep filling in the blanks. And as you get more information and you do more work, you fill in those blanks and you make sure you have smart people around you who know what you don't know and who will call you on your
Exactly.
crap and also who will
Right.
call you on your crap.
Right. And
That's the
the
other
reason
thing.
that I know about the business plan is because I actually provide financing to businesses. So I know exactly what I look for, right?
Yeah,
So I in order for me to lend money to anybody, I need to see the business plan. And if
absolutely.
I see your business plan is schleppy, I'm not going to give you any money. Okay.
Absolutely.
So your business plan has to be on point. It has to have
I
data. It has to have all this information. And, you're a writer, so you were able to do that. But a lot of people don't have that skill set. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure if I have the skill set necessary to be able to do a business plan. So right now, I mean, like you were saying, there's templates available. And even
Yeah,
like Fiverr Business, you can pay somebody $500 and they will make a business plan for you that looks really good. That's really professional. Now, you also have to have somebody in house look that over for you to make
yes,
sure it's right, right? So you need a good finance person in house. People don't understand how important that is. So
yeah,
you need someone in house, like an accountant, a finance person. You need an inventory the type of tracker, right? To know how much inventory you have. People don't
yep.
understand how important that is.
You need
And
somebody who knows everything you don't know. So, for
yes.
instance, my CEO, Lola, she was a business consultant of the year for SBA.
Hmm.
She knows how to get things made.
Right.
My CSO, my sales officer.
Hmm.
She was the top seller, like 2 million in sales, in independent sales for a women's clothing line,
Right.
online clothing line. My CFO and general counsel, so she has a dual role, is a tax attorney. You
See?
get
Yes.
people who know what you don't know. And then people, you can find, and $500 could be $1 million to someone.
Correct.
That could be
You're
$1 million.
right. You're
Find
right.
people who write and read for a living. An English teacher. Hey, I have
Sure.
this. Can you take a look at this? Can you,
Sure.
actually, I have a friend. She was working on her doctorate. And she said, hey, Paula, can you read my dissertation?
Hmm.
I write for a living. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. She was my friend.
Sure.
I'm happy to read your dissertation. So I found the typos in this, and I said, well, I think you should do that, or maybe if you said that this way. By the way, uh, she also won her doctorate on her first dissertation.
Amazing.
So you can find people. Women have networks, and again, if we're
Hmm.
all willing to help each other, Patty, as opposed to tear each other down,
Yes.
when I go by a woman who looks good, I'll say, "Oh my gosh, hey, pretty girl, hey, what's going on?" I
Right.
love
Me
women.
too. I'm always complimenting women.
Always,
Always.
always. I love
Always.
women. I
Hmm.
love men too. I mean, obviously,
Yep.
but I love women. I love people.
Yep.
And I don't mind saying, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful today. I never look at somebody and hate on them because they're wearing nicer shoes.
Right.
That's just not who I am. I hate on you
Me
for
neither. Yep.
other things, like you're a mean person or you're a bad person,
Yes.
or you don't care about others or whatever. There are a
Yes.
million other reasons to hate on women and I hate on other
Right.
people, but let's just not hate on each other for stupid stuff. Why aren't we
Right.
building each other up? I mean, if we build each other up more than we tear each other down, if we looked for ways to help one another as opposed to look for ways not to, we would be so
Right.
much more power. I mean, we have the spending power. Why aren't
We
we
do.
more? Why aren't more of us makers when we're the
Right.
ones buying? Why aren't we
Exactly.
making when we're the buyers? I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, my answer to that is because we've been inculcated to believe that we're not good enough. We're not
Yeah,
meant to be bring home the bacon. The men are
yeah.
supposed to be the providers. We're supposed to sit at home and be the nurturers and caretakers.
Isn't that
And
amazing that's still out there?
yeah,
Pisses me off.
that has been, and I've said this in another podcast. I will say this again. That has been proven to be scientifically false now, in that it has been proven that women were hunters just as well as the men. We hunted big game, so that whole
Yes.
thing, the men were hunters and the women were gatherers, is complete BS. So we've been brainwashed to believe nonsense.
We've been
So
brainwashed to believe a lot of nonsense about a lot of things. So let me just bring up
yes,
this point, Patty, and I'm going to challenge your viewers and your listeners to think about this for a second. Think about how our bodies have been criminalized.
mm-hmm,
Criminalized. So think about this for a second. A woman who is, and I'm not advocating this. I want to make a point.
sure,
A woman who is, say, an A cup. So
mm-hmm,
she's got small breasts that are close to the chest.
right,
If she were to walk outside and down the street without a bra and a shirt on, she would be arrested.
yes,
A man who is overweight, fat, with heavy, sagging breasts, they look the exact same. He can walk down the street without a shirt on. And somebody
right,
might go, wow, he probably shouldn't go shirtless. But he's not going to be considered indecent. Yet his breasts are actually bigger than the
right,
woman's. Why and they
yes,
why is it that those breasts that look the same, but when they're on a
mm-hmm,
woman, they're criminalized?
right,
And so I
right.
want women to, that's the other thing that I'm really trying to fight against. So first of all, I don't think anybody should walk down the street without a shirt on. I think you should be modest.
Sure.
Just put a damn shirt on. Just put a damn
I
shirt
agree.
on. If it's hot
I
outside, wear a
agree.
white beater.
It always makes me feel weird with men walking down the street without a shirt.
Without a shirt
I'm like,
on. Wear a
yeah, what are you
shirt.
doing? It's not that hot, dude. Put on a shirt.
Right. It's not that hot that you can't wear a shirt. But if a
Right.
woman does it and her breasts look the exact same,
Yeah.
why would she be looked at and possibly
Right.
arrested, but
Right.
not the man? And so I'm
Right.
talking about how women, the differences are still there. The differences
Absolutely.
are real. And we have
Yeah.
to push against that. Women, I'm not saying go out shirtless. I'm
Yeah.
saying take
No,
a
right.
look at those things that seem to be hidden, but are right there in our faces that say you should feel badly about your body.
Absolutely. And we've again, it's clear that the standards for a woman's body is completely different
Oh,
than the standard for a man's body. Completely,
completely.
completely different. Yeah, and I've put the kibosh on that because in my relationship, I really take care of myself. I'm fit and I won't let myself, I've given myself the rule. And again, this is just for me. I'm not
Yeah.
advocating for anybody else. I'm not saying, what I'm saying is the way that it should be. I've given myself the rule of 15 pounds. 15 pounds is the max that I can gain. And I told my fiance, 15 pounds is the max you can gain. That's
That's
it.
it. So,
We're
right,
not
those
having
are your
double
limits.
standards here. Yeah.
So here are my limits. My limit, and listen, I love me the way I am. I'm actually happier when there is more of me. I don't think I look as great, but I feel more secure when there is more of me. But one thing is that I was talking to my husband. So I actually lost most of my hair. A hairdresser put something on my scalp and it killed my follicles.
Oh,
So
no.
I started going bald. And so about 8 years ago, I had to start wearing a wig. And I just felt so badly about myself because I had this beautiful head of hair, just beautiful, thick, full,
Right.
rolling curls. And I remember saying to my husband that, I just really felt badly about myself. I was losing my hair. And he said, I would love you whether you were bald or fat. And I said, well, good. I'm depressed. Hand me another donut. So, I used to say, you know what? I didn't get COVID-19, but I did catch the COVID 20 pounds. But here's my point. We all have our limits. We have those things that are important to us. I
Yeah.
could be more fit. My brain is fit. My brain is really fit. Right
Sure.
now, that's where my focus is. I
Sure.
could be more fit. I think probably I'd be a lot healthier if I was more fit. Right now, I sit at a computer, from 4 a.m. till, midnight.
Right.
But we all have our limits, and I don't want to
Right.
put those limits and those things that are important to me on other people. Patty, I always say, I don't care how you pray, who you love, what you eat, how you sleep, who you kiss at night. I don't care about those things.
Right.
That's up to you. I do care if you're a good person. And so whatever
Absolutely.
my things are, whatever I'm doing, don't judge me if I'm
Right.
not breaking the law or hurting others, and I'm not going to judge you.
Right. Right. So I want to end with you giving the listeners out there just some pointers. What are the top 2 or 3 pointers you think that a woman should really take away from our conversation? A woman who, like I was saying, is in a job and maybe wants to be an entrepreneur. What are some things that she should take away from this and to help her get started and help her be successful?
Well, the first thing is understand that your ideas have value. And
Amen.
so if you have an idea, don't go, oh, somebody else will do it, or I can't do it. Do some research. We have laptops, we have computers, we have phones.
Right.
There are search engines. You can take a look, see what else is out there. See if other
Yep.
people are doing it. If other people are doing it, see if you can do it better. But the first thing
Yes.
I would say is value your ideas,
I
do the
love that.
research, build a team of people who aren't your friends. They can become your friends. They may or they may not. But build a team of people who know what you don't know. They might know some of what you know, but find the
Yes.
people who don't, I mean, who know what you don't know. If you don't know about manufacturing, find somebody who knows
Yes.
about manufacturing. If you don't know about
Yes.
sales, find somebody. If you're not a tax attorney, get that tax attorney involved.
Yep.
And then go out there and face the grizzly bear. That's the biggest thing.
Love
Don't
that.
run from it. But you also need a support system. And so whether that's
Yes.
a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband, a sister, a mother, your circle of girlfriends, but have a support system because when things go wrong, and they will, you need someone to cry to. You need someone to cheer you on and mean it.
Right.
You need someone who's going to be happy for you when you're successful. You need someone who's going to roll up their sleeves and help you be successful. And so
Right.
you really need that support system around you. But the biggest thing is just believe in the possibilities that you could be the one who could make the difference, who could
Yep.
be successful, and value yourself and value other women.
Amen. I love that. I love that. And one thing that I want to add to what you said is that for people to understand that it's going to be hard.
Oh,
It's going to be so hard. I mean,
you're
it's
gonna
going to be
want your
so
life
hard.
back. I want
Oh
my
my
life
gosh.
back.
And you know that I remember this being such a great lesson because when Oprah left her show and started OWN, right? I remember she was having so many challenges with OWN. You know, people were resigning and left and right or whatever. And she was being interviewed and she thought it was going to be easy because she was Oprah. So she started, her own network and she just thought it was going to be easy. And she said that she was speaking with Stedman and she was telling Stedman, God, I didn't realize this is so hard. I didn't think it was going to be so hard. And Stedman said, it's supposed to be hard.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
supposed to be hard.
My husband says the same thing. If it wasn't hard, everybody would do it.
Yes.
Hey, Patty, but hold on. Before you go, I got to ask you something.
Yes.
Okay, so you tried Braless Bra Instant Cleavage Sculpting Solution.
Yes, I did.
What'd you think?
Absolutely,
Tell
I
the
did.
truth.
I'm going to be very, very honest
Be
because
very honest.
I want to give an honest review. So when I first saw it, I wasn't sure what to do with it.
Okay.
Right? I looked at it. I was like, okay, what do I do? And then I read because I read the instructions. So when you first see it, you're going to be like, what do I do with
What is
this?
this?
It's just a roll, right? But then I read the instructions. I was like, all right. I went upstairs and I followed the directions. I tried it. I was like, oh my God. And I wore it all day
Awesome.
to see if it was uncomfortable. And it was amazing. And it held in place all
High
day.
and tight,
and
baby. High and tight.
yeah, high and tight. High and tight. It held in place and it also and it didn't like bunch up, it didn't wrinkle up.
Awesome.
So I was wearing it under like a sheer blouse.
Awesome.
So it looked great. And then I followed the directions. You do need oil to take it off. So I used olive oil to take it off
Yep.
and it came off and there was no issue. So I absolutely love it.
That
Yes,
oil
I
is-
love the product.
I'm so glad. Leave me a review. That oil is the trick.
I-
And also you get to feel yourself up a little bit.
Yes.
That's what you use the oil. So I know most people listen to this, but for those who are watching this, I am wearing this. So I'm a double G. I am wearing the product with no bra. No bra.
Yeah, she is high and tight.
I got serious.
She really
I
is.
got serious side boob going on. You can see I've got a nice little separation. And when I take it off, I just go like this. It seeps through. I get to feel myself up a little bit. Ah, hoosah. And then take it off. Oh my God. I wonder if a broadcast journalist can feel themselves up on a podcast. I think she just
Well,
did.
you just did, Paula.
I just
You
did.
Paula, thank you so much for being with us. You really, really shared some great knowledge.
Awesome.
I'm hoping that women out there get so much from, your experience in starting a new business. And this gives women some hope, the ones that want to start a business and they kind of understand how to do it now. And they see that the possibilities are out there. I love your braless bra. In the description of the podcast, we'll tell everyone where to find you. And we really, really appreciate you being on. To the listeners, thank you for listening. We really appreciate you listening to our podcast. Please, if you get a chance, follow us, write a review that keeps our podcast going. And never forget that a man is not a financial plan.